Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Motordrome Speedway, where this evening we present the NASCAR Whelen All-American Series 5 Division Racing action on our first Fan Appreciation Night. At this time, we ask that each and every one of you please rise up from your seats. Gentlemen, remove your caps, and if you are moving around the Speedway grounds, please pause with us momentarily for our opening ceremonies, as this evening our invocation will be delivered by track photographer Howie Bayless, and we'll have a live performance of our national anthem by Mrs. Melissa Grimm. At this time, Howie Bayless.
Please bow your heads and let us pray. Dear Lord, as we gather for tonight of entertainment, let's remember that people are risking their lives for our enjoyment. Dear Lord, please watch over the safety of the drivers, the crews, track officials, firefighters, and fans. May we have a good week and be able to enjoy ourselves again next week. Amen.
Please remain standing for the singing of our national anthem by Melissa Grimm.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you to Howie Bayless and Melissa Grimm. Now, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to go NASCAR racing? Inside row 2, points leader Bobby Shipp and the 0-1 of Harry Ofer. Chris Brink and Bill Rebar take the green flag for 8 laps. Our opening heat race event on Fan Appreciation Night for the open wheel modifieds, and Gary Scott, the veteran, takes the lead. Nicola slides into second. Harry Ofer in the 0-1 car dropping back now. There's Bobby Shipp from Elizabeth, Pennsylvania in car 04, third on the racetrack, tied for the points lead. Gary Scott up front, many times a feature winner here at the Motordrome Speedway. Started his career as a multi-track go-kart racing champion. Then raced on the dirt very successfully for many seasons before switching to asphalt in the NASCAR series here at Motordrome. Scott already this season has a heat race victory, and then suffered a hard crash in the feature event on opening night. George Nicola in car 97. Closing the gap just a little. Scott's lead now about 3 car lengths in turn 4. Bobby Shipp, the third car in that line, pulling away from the rest of the field. Working lap number 3 of 8. Gary Scott, George Nicola, then Harry Ofer in 4th, but 3rd place running on the speedway, Bobby Shipp, who has only 1 career victory coming in 2007. He's led more laps than anybody else this season with 2 second-place finishes so far this season, tied for the points lead with young Tom Frank, as 2 of the youngest drivers in this division are locked atop the point standings board here in round number 3. Up front, Gary Scott in 16, George Nicola, the former Subway Street Stock Division champion in car 97, riding in the 2nd position. Working lap number 6 of 8. Gary Scott, George Nicola, Bob Shipp pulling away from the field. Now on the back straight, looked like Nicola was going to mount a lead challenge to the inside. Now he changes to the outside lane. As two veteran competitors up front, Scott using the high side each lap through turn 4. That opens the inside lane. As the white flag is waving, George Nicola is closer to the lead than he has been all event long. Final time down the back straight. Nicola carries the momentum to peak to the inside. Nothing doing there. If Scott moves up to the high side again in turn 4, Nicola could be waiting to strike on the final lap. Checkered flag is in the air. Gary Scott will win it over George Nicola, Bobby Shipp, Harry Ofer, and Chris Brink. Outside, it's 4-time and defending champion Adam Kostelnik in the 60. Green flag is out, 8 laps the distance, our second preliminary heat for the modifieds. And Brian Shipp in car 40, whose younger, should I say older brother, is tied for the points lead with the driver of car number 6, Tom Frank. Frank has a heat race victory and that first career feature win as they make contact in turn 4. Open wheel cars banging together on the speedway is the worst possible scenario. The green flag stays out. Lead battle still intense as defending champion Adam Kostelnik from the last position on the starting grid, taking second spot to the outside of the 40 of Brian Shipp. Side-by-side racing is just what Tom Frank needs to pull out to a bigger lead. The young driver of car 6 comes to us each week from the Cleveland, Ohio suburbs as a many-time go-kart champion. And now, as of opening night 08, Tom Frank is a feature winner in the modifieds. He's got the leading winner of 2007, Adam Kostelnik from East McKeesport, nipping at his rear bumper. Brian Shipp is back in third, and the Al Civic-owned number 58 car driven by Subway Street Stock graduate Lonnie Hoffman is fourth. Light contact made bumper to bumper in the lead battle. The 4-time track champion in the Viglione Racing number 60, Adam Kostelnik is second. Tom Frank, the young Ohio driver, out in front. Crossed flags indicate halfway, 4 laps down and 4 to go. Tom Frank, whose pit crew consists only of his father, the crew chief and car owner of the number 6 machine, and Adam Kostelnik with the Viglione Racing operation. As that team dates back to the Heidelberg Raceway days of the 1960s, they have 4 consecutive championships as a team. And now the champ takes to the outside of the youngster. Wheel to wheel down the back straight. Adam Kostelnik on the outside. Tom Frank on the inside. 2 cars pulling away from the field on lap 5 of 8. Tom Frank officially held the lead at the scoring line last time by, as he will again by less than a car length. The Stans Transmissions number 6 of Tom Frank and the Luzader Auto Service number 60 of Adam Kostelnik going wheel to wheel for the heat race victory. Kostelnik, no stranger to the outside lane at Motordrome Speedway. He started last in this event, and with the white flag in the air signaling final lap, Tom Frank's lead is just about a wheel. Last time through turns 1 and 2, Adam Kostelnik, the double division champion last season. He pulled off the title in the modifieds and the Subway Street Stocks. Now he pulls off the lead on the final lap. Headed for the checkered flag in car 60 from East McKeesport, Adam Kostelnik gets the win over Tom Frank, Brian Shipp, Lonnie Hoffman, and Rick Huffman completing the top 5. Time veteran Don Blank. 31 is Shawn Phillips, had a great run last week. Then the 64 of Bill Henry as we're green and racing 8 laps for the Subway Street Stocks. Of Heilman out in front, 31 of Phillips in second, then Holder, opening night winner Jason Holder in car 74. Holder so strong here in the point standings last season, but did not win a feature, although he was victorious at the Jennerstown Speedway last year. Holder is up to third after starting at the back of this field. He's passed veteran Don Blank in the 45, who started on row 1, then Phillips in 31 in second, and Heilman in the 15 car. Heilman, one of the youngest drivers in competition in the Subway Street Stock division from Bell Vernon, Pennsylvania in car 15, had 2 outstanding weeks of competition so far. He's finished in the top 5 in both feature events contested in 2008. And working lap number 3 of 8 in this first Subway Street Stock Heat Race, he has built himself a lead of 3 or 4 car lengths over veteran Shawn Phillips in the 31, who did go to victory lane in 2007. Phillips had a dismal start to 2008 as his car number 31 backed hard into the wall in a practice session crash after he hit some fluid on the speedway opening night. The crossed flag signal halfway, 4 laps down and 4 to go for Jonathan Heilman in the 15 car. 31 of Phillips, 74 of Holder, and the 45 of Blank in tow. Bill Henry holding the 5th spot down. He won the Subway 25 last year, the biggest event for the Subway Street Stocks. Top 3 cars nearly nose to tail as Phillips has dwindled Heilman's lead down to less than a car length in the corners. As he closes right back up to the rear bumper, Jason Holder is there as well. 2 laps to go, the signal given from the starter stand this time. In the Subway Street Stock point standings with 2 rounds of action completed, Jason Holder is 3rd on the speedway, 2nd in the championship chase. He is only 11 points behind the leader, Joe Nicola, who will be out in heat race number 2. And Bill Henry, who's 5th on the racetrack, is 4th in the championship chase with the white flag waving. Jonathan Heilman has led from the drop of the green flag. He is 3rd in the championship points chase. And in turns 3 and 4, first checkered flag of 2008, the driver of car 15 from Bell Vernon, Pennsylvania, Jonathan Heilman, takes the win over Shawn Phillips, Jason Holder, Don Blank, and Bill Henry. Mike Stelnick, the 69 is last week's winner, Joe Nicola. The 3 is Motordrome Speedway newcomer, Teddy Gabala. 76 is Tom Knight Sr. And the 34 is Rich Nicola as the green flag waves. 8 more laps for the Subway Street Stocks, and no start that time. Caution lights are on, false start. We're gonna stack them up and try one more time as somebody got the edge before they reached the scoring line. And starts on the pole, Andrew Kostelnik outside of row 1. He's been a winner here at Motordrome Speedway. In fact, in 2007, he went to victory lane. And we've got the green flag waving for 8 laps in the Subway Street Stocks preliminary heat race. Joe Nicola in the 69. The points leader and last week's winner looking to go 3 wide on the back straight. Nicola's Thunderbird to the inside of Minjock's Monte Carlo. Minjock slams the door on him, and Andrew Kostelnik, younger brother of the defending champion, out in front. Side by side for second, Joe Nicola takes the 69 car into the runner-up position. Minjock drifts a couple grooves high on the speedway, opens the inside lane for AK Chassis teammate of the leader, Tony Manganello from Clairton, PA in car 50. Lead challenge as they reach the scoring line. Andrew Kostelnik leads lap 2 by less than a fender as Joe Nicola charges to the inside. Nicola in car 69. Points leader on the strength of last week's feature win, takes the top spot from young Andrew Kostelnik, and Kostelnik's teammate Manganello closing in on him as well. Working lap 3 of 8, the AK Chassis teammates battling for 2nd and 3rd. Then it's Teddy Gabala in car number 3. He was a Street Stock Division rookie last year at Jennerstown Speedway. And in turn 2, we have a spin. Rich Nicola in car 34 spins to bring out the caution flag on lap 3 in turn 2. Back straight away for birthday parties or corporate entertainment as the green flag waves with 5 laps to go in the Subway Street Stock Heat Race 2. Joe Nicola out in front. The AK Chassis teammates of Andrew Kostelnik in 05 and Tony Manganello in the 50 mounting a challenge to the inside. Manganello, who is a veteran of competition at the Jennerstown Speedway, made last season his first full year of Subway Street Stock competition here at Motordrome. And the Clairton, Pennsylvania driver takes 2nd position away at the halfway point of the event. 4 laps down, 4 to go. Kostelnik back to 3rd now with Street Stock Division sophomore Teddy Gabala in car 3 closing in. Gabala's first season of competition last year at Jennerstown Speedway netted him a feature win. And he has passed the pole starter Aaron Minjock in car 34, who dominated the Charger ranks last season. 3 laps to go, and the challenge for third heats up. Gabala to the inside of Andrew Kostelnik. They race door to door through turn number 3, and Gabala will take the spot away as they hit the scoring line with 2 laps to go. The Tom Clark Chevrolet number 3 of Teddy Gabala on lap 6, moving into third position, just behind Tony Manganello's number 50 car, the Costa Construction entry. Up front, the only Ford-powered automobile in the field, about to take the white flag as Joe Nicola from West Mifflin, Pennsylvania, 1 circuit away from padding that points lead with another heat race victory. Battle for second now as Gabala, the Motordrome rookie, challenging the 50 of Manganello out of turn 4. An easy victory for Joe Nicola in car 69, and Gabala up through the field for a second place finish over Tony Manganello in third, Andrew Kostelnik in fourth, and Aaron Minjock in fifth. In car 22, the 3-time champ and defending champion Bobby Henry from Connellsville in car 11. Green flag is out for the Pizza Hut NASCAR Super Late Models Heat Race number 1. 10-lap contest with Will Thomas taking the early lead over veteran Mark Poole. Chris Bailey in car 17, one of the top-notch racers at Lake Erie Speedway, into the third position. A battle of Buckeye State drivers for fourth. Jimmy Weller the third in car 23, and Chris Roberts in car 93. Roberts on the outside, and Weller, who was a winner during Florida Speed Weeks at the New Smyrna Speedway, taking the 4th spot away. Now it's Paul Urso in car 37 challenging Roberts to the inside. 93 of Chris Roberts from Cortland, Ohio, making a rare Motordrome Speedway appearance. And Paul Urso has had 2 terrific runs in the Pizza Hut Super Late Models, storming to the inside, bringing Bobby Henry, the defending champion, right with him. Here comes Richard Mitchell and Mark Catone as well, working lap 3 of 10. Up front, leader Will Thomas from Sharpsville, Pennsylvania. The Colonial Metal Products, PI&I Transport Chevrolet, leading Mark Poole in the Howard Concrete Pumping 96 car. Mark Poole, the driver in second position, has retired from racing 3 or 4 times now and just can't make it stick. Headed into turn 3, a battle of former champions. Richard Mitchell in car 22 takes position away from Bobby Henry. Right there is Mark Catone. Those 3 drivers battling for position at the back of the field, representing 6 track championships here at Motordrome, as Mitchell pulls away from that battle and closes in on the 37 of Paul Urso. Into turn number 1, very close racing on the front straight. Richard Mitchell in car 22, the former ARCA Super Speedway and NASCAR Busch Series racer, cracks the top 5 by passing the 37 of Paul Urso. Seven of 10 laps completed. And out of turn 4, Will Thomas, the 2-time Mara Series champion, out in front of Mark Poole as they have blistered this field. Battle heating up for 4th as Chris Bailey Jr. solidly in 3rd position. Richard Mitchell up from the rear of the field has caught the rear bumper of Jimmy Weller. Weller, in his first Motordrome start of this season, has been out on tour with the ASA Series, racing in the state of Indiana, among others. And on the final lap, Mitchell trying to make a challenge for 4th position, but in turns 3 and 4, the driver who's won at 7 different speedways in Pennsylvania, New York, and Florida, Will Thomas takes the victory over Mark Poole in the 96, Chris Bailey in 17. Richard Mitchell by inches takes the 4th spot away from Jimmy Weller at the line. From Murraysville drives the Benz Motorsports 60, and Bo Glemba in car 78 from Charleroi as the field takes the green flag. 10 laps for the Pizza Hut NASCAR Super Late Models. Mark Smith in car 94 Many times a winner here at Motordrome and a former Jennerstown champion out in front. He's had nothing but mechanical woes in the 2 opening rounds of the NASCAR Whelen Series here at Motordrome this season. Into turn 2, field threatening to be 3 wide for the lead. Todd Price in the 15 car right there with Gary Wiltrout in 95. Price, the Mans family-owned entry for 51 Motorsports, holding to the inside of 2002 champion Gary Wiltrout. Mark Smith continues to lead in the Hunter's Peterbilt 94. Wiltrout taking the Stone and Company Megan Ford to the outside. Door to door, they make contact in turn 3. A great save by Wiltrout. Price powers into the second spot. Dan Lewis caught up in the repercussions in car 8. Caution flag on lap 2. How about that, action, race fans? Mark Smith and Gary Wiltrout, the longtime veterans, make contact in the battle for the lead. Wiltrout with a fantastic save on the high side of the speedway to keep from spinning. Todd Price avoids contact. And Dan Lewis in the 8, a victim as Neil Brown tried to steer around the possibly spinning Wiltrout and the other cars that were hitting the brakes. I saw what might be a little front suspension damage on the 8, 60 car. Last year's most dominant feature winner, and Gregory Kelly in the 44. Green flag back out, 8 laps to go. Mark Smith in car 94, the dominant feature winner at the Jennerstown Speedway last season. Holding off our opening night feature winner, Gary Wiltrout in car 95. They made contact once in the battle for the lead. Now they're door to door on the front straight. A dead heat at the scoring line for the lead on lap 3. Wiltrout, the 2002 champion, former winner of the Pizza Hut 100, takes the top position away from Mark Smith on lap 3 of 10. A pair of Fords up front, make that a trio of Fords with the 15 of Todd Price right there. Here comes the Hunter's Peterbilt Davies Ford 98 of Neil Brown. Brown, who went to victory lane several times last season, as a teammate to Shawn Phillips, now driving for Richter Motorsports. 1 start, 1 win for Brown in the 98 as he takes the spot away from the 15 of Price. And Price will lose 2 spots in 1 lap as Tommy Beck in the 60 car officially had a fender out in front at the scoring line to take 4th position away. Beck in car number 60, currently the points leader in the Pizza Hut NASCAR Super Late Model Division. The driver out in front on lap 6, Gary Wiltrout, leading the standings with 116 points. He's got a big lead over a battle between teammates for second. Last week on lap 1, the Richter Motorsports teammates made contact, and Neil Brown from the back of the field takes the second position away from Mark Smith. Here comes Tommy Beck charging to the inside. Neil Brown made the opening beneath his teammate Mark Smith, and Tommy Beck follows through to take the 3rd position. Gary Wiltrout up front, Neil Brown in second, and Mark Smith spins from 3rd position in car 94. Mark Smith, the veteran, in car number 94, spinning out of 3rd position after leading much of this event. The driver from Myersdale, Pennsylvania had a power steering failure on opening night, which forced him out of action. Brown from back in the pack gets to restart on the heels of leader Gary Wiltrout in car 95. Wiltrout of the Palagrudo Motorsports team. His teammate, the defending champion Bobby Henry. And Wiltrout second in the points chase to Tommy Beck, who's 3rd on the racetrack with 2 laps to go. The Benz Motorsports Stands Transmissions number 60 of Tommy Beck has followed Neil Brown up through the field. Now let's see if he can make a pass on the driver that opened the holes for him to this point in the event with the white flag waving. Beck looks to the inside in turn 1, no lane available. Brown in the 98 protecting his groove, and down the back straight, Wiltrout will open up an even bigger lead as the fight is for second. Out of turn 4, another heat race victory for former track champion Gary Wiltrout. Neil Brown hangs on to second over Tommy Beck, Todd Price, and Gregory Kelly. Blank with Neidhart behind him in the 68. 5 is Bill Oldham from Connellsville. Undefeated this season is the 95 of Jimmy Stokes. 7 is Matt Gardner. 4 is defending champion Mike Lemley. Going 3 wide on the front straight is former champion Tracy Keller in the 1. Denny Keller drives the 13. Bruce Hamilton in 29. And Bob Garchak Jr. from Pittsburgh in car 44. Former dirt track driver and dirt track race car leading the way on lap 1. The 5 of Bill Oldham from Connellsville, getting passed on the high side by Jimmy Stokes. Stokes, the West Side Lube and Tire 95 car, is undefeated with 2 heats and 2 features. He has won everything for the Charger division in 2008. Last week, that race car was for sale. Now with a big points lead, Stokes says, I'm going to keep the car. I'm going to win some more features. He's going to win some more heats, but he'll have to pass Bob Garchak to do it. And we got a caution flag on the speedway. Debris on the racetrack, the reason for the caution flag, with 2 laps completed in our 6-lap Charger division feature. 6 laps to go in the Charger division preliminary. Bob Garchak, Jimmy Stokes, Bill Oldham lead him back to the green. Mike Lemley with a bonsai pass of the 12 car. The 4 of Lemley taking 2 positions on that restart. Heads up move there with 2 laps completed. Stokes goes for the lead out of turn number 2. The 95 of Jimmy Stokes taking the point position from Garchak, trying to stay undefeated this season in Charger action. Here comes defending champion Mike Lemley in the 4. Then it's Tracy Keller in the 1. Couple of identical Monte Carlos sweeping by the 44 of Garchak. In fact, he's got the same body design as well. That shorter, late 70s, early 80s Monte Carlo body, running 3rd, 4th, and 5th on the track right now. Then it's Dustin Blank's Oldsmobile in the 48 machine. Up front, Stokes sees the signal, 2 laps to go, and a heated fight now for 4th. Garchak, Blank, and Matt Gardner. Gardner, whose car was not performing up to snuff under the hood last week in car 7, closing in on a top 5 position. Some havoc at the back of the field there. We keep going as Neidhart and Denny Keller made contact. Look at the battle for 5th now, side by side, as Gardner sneaks to the inside of Dustin Blank at the wave of the white flag. Final time around the speedway, Jimmy Stokes in 95 leading Dawson, Pennsylvania's Mike Lemley in the 4. Out of turn number 4, undefeated this season in Charger competition from West Newton, Pennsylvania, Jimmy Stokes takes the win over Mike Lemley, Tracy Keller, Bob Garchak, and Matt Gardner. This season, Jeff Halfhill drives the West Side Lube and Tire 7. Veteran from Star Junction, Pennsylvania in the 51 is Kevin Ludwig. Larry Vance in car 28, another veteran competitor. 31 is Terry Schwartz. The 60 car, driven tonight by the wife of street stock pilot Tony Manganello, as we're 3 wide for the lead. Jeff Halfhill passes 4 cars in half a lap. Mopar fans, let me hear you as the 7 car takes over the lead. Ed Deneen won both features this season in car 16. He's up to 2nd. Then it's Larry Vance in the 28. Ron Eifert the 3rd in 61, and his 3rd time on a racetrack in car 20. Ed Sheltman is 5th. Up front, 2 speedy race cars. Halfhill in the Mag Racing entry number 7 and the 16 of Deneen. They swapped the lead a few times in feature competition this season. And in this 5-lap preliminary for the American Flyers, we may have more of the same. Side by side for 3rd behind the lead battle, it's Ron Eifert in 61, Larry Vance in 28. They are door to door in turn 3. Eifert in the Chevy Cavalier, Vance in the Ford Tempo. Eifert, the youngster, takes position on the veteran. And into 3rd position goes Eifert, working lap number 3. Up front, the lead battle, still a heated one. Jeff Halfhill in the 7, and Ed Deneen from Wilkinsburg in 16. Halfhill competed about half the season last year. He did go to victory lane in 07. And Deneen, the former division champion, nearly pulling even at the wave of the white flag. Last time around, we've got a heated battle for the lead. Deneen down on the apron of the racetrack in car 16. Halfhill holds his line down the back straight. They are door to door in turn number 3. Still side by side. In turn 4, who's going to win it? At the checkers, Ed Deneen takes another heat race win over Jeff Halfhill. Ron Eifert the third, coming home in third spot over Larry Vance, and another top 5 for Ed Scheltman in car 20. Last week's winner in the 97 is George Nicola. The 9 is Rick Huffman. The 18 is Bill Rebar. Green flag is out. 20 laps for the open wheel modifieds on Fan Appreciation Night. Jim Nicola in car number 5, former division champion. To the inside of the division sophomore, Chris Brink in the 0. Tight racing for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Harry Ofer in the 0-1 and Gary Scott in 16. 2 long-time veteran campaigners who both were victorious in 2007. Nicola leads lap 1, Ofer in 2nd, nearly 3 wide in the fight for 3rd. The 0 of Chris Brink, who loves the high side of the speedway. That's where he wants to be. And the 0-4 of Bobby Shipp to the inside, looking for career victory number 2 tonight. The 97 of George Nicola started deep in this field, and he's threatening for top 5 positions already, working the inside lane. At his rear bumper, defending champion Adam Kostelnik in the 60, nearly 3 wide in turn 4. Chris Brink in the 0 car, losing a couple of positions that lap to Nicola and Kostelnik, and Brink is way off the pace in car 0. Whole field drifts by the Glenn Campbell Gambler in car 0. He is well off the pace, while Jim Nicola from Pittsburgh in car 5 continues to lead. 0-1 of Harry Ofer is 2nd. Then it's Bobby Shipp, George Nicola, Adam Kostelnik, and opening night winner Tom Frank, who's taken a position away from Gary Scott. Here on lap 4 of 20, Scott is now falling behind the lead pack. George Nicola made his moves early in this race on the inside. Now he changes to the high lane of the speedway. Wheel to wheel with Bobby Shipp down the front straight. Four, 5 cars racing under a blanket for positions 2 through 6. All at the rear bumper of leader Jim Nicola, the longtime veteran and former champion. George Nicola with a great run on the leader now. He will have to settle in for 2nd as he takes that spot away from the 0-1 of Harry Ofer here on lap 6. Chaos in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th positions. Nicola nearly made contact with the wall, has to back off. That opens the inside lane for Ofer, challenging to get the runner-up position back that he held for the first 5 laps of this event. Despite side-by-side racing, Jim Nicola not able to pull away from the field. His nephew, George Nicola, now wheel-to-wheel with him, headed into turn 3. A Nicola family battle at the front of the field. Last week's winner, George Nicola, makes light contact with his uncle, but takes over the lead on lap 8. Adam Kostelnik in car 60 from deep in the field. We got a spin in turn 2. The Aero Automotive 58 of Lonnie Hoffman goes around to bring out the caution. Nicola leading Nicola. The nephew up front. Kostelnik in 3rd behind the family battle. Then it's Ofer and Frank with 12 laps remaining. George Nicola opens up a huge lead as a result of the wheel-to-wheel battle between Kostelnik, the defending champ, and veteran Jim Nicola in the 5. Viglione Racing entry up to 2nd spot. A battle now for 5th on the speedway. Bobby Shipp in the 0-4. He was up there early in the event, and the 6 of Tom Frank. Shipp with 2 consecutive 2nd place finishes in 2008. Frank with his first career win on opening night holds the outside lane around veteran Harry Ofer, who won the biggest event of the season for the modifieds last year. Add the 16 car of Gary Scott to the battle for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, and at the midway point of the event with 10 laps down. Heated action. Inside the top 5, Tom Frank now, with the 6 car just out in front of Harry Ofer, taking the 4th position away. Lead battle intensifies on lap 11 in turns 1 and 2. The 97 of George Nicola, the 60 of Adam Kostelnik, who was last season's dominant feature winner. moving the Lazader Autos 60 to the high side of the racetrack. Action all over the speedway as they are door to door for third behind this lead fight on lap 12. Tom Frank gaining positions back in the pack. He's up to third now after riding in sixth and fifth, side by side for the lead. Incredible action in the modifieds as George Nicola by inches maintained his lead last time at the scoring line. Dead heat at lap 13. Still wheel to wheel, down the back straight. Don't tell these guys that they have no fenders because they're duking it out like they're in full-bodied stock cars. Adam Kostelnik, the defending and four-time champion, out in front by a car length now. 6 laps remaining. George Nicola right there with him. Then Tom Frank a distant third and still more fighting for fourth. It's veterans Gary Scott in 16 and Jim Nicola in 5. Headed down the front straight with the lap machine of rebar to the bottom of the speedway. Adam Kostelnik, with 5 laps to go, has an advantage of about 3, maybe 4 car lengths at most over George Nicola. But last lap around the speedway, Nicola closed in drastically in turn 3. This time the margin holds even. Kostelnik in the Bolin machine, number 60. The Viglione Motorsports team, 4-time champions in this division. Best action on the track on lap 16 is the fight for 5th. Could be 3 cars strong in just a moment, and they will approach the slower machine of rebar. Bobby Shipp tied for the points lead with the driver just in front of him, Tom Frank, in the 6. Finally puts a car length between himself and the 5 of Jim Nicola, who's fighting side by side with the 01 of Ophir. On lap 17 now, this pack of cars will move cleanly past the 18 of rebar, headed into turn 3. Into turn 1. Rebar, the lap car on the inside. Ophir splits those two with Brian Shipp on the outside of him. As that action settles down, the white flag waves for leader Adam Kostelnik in car 60. The Viglione Motorsports team fielded super late models at the Heidelberg Raceway in the 1960s, and still with pavement racing in their blood in the modified division, put the championship winning car under driver Adam Kostelnik. He won more than anyone else in 2007 and goes back to victory lane in 2008, winning over George Nicola. Tom Frank in the 6 will finish 3rd. Bobby Shipp will finish in 4th over Jim Nicola in car 5. Well, Adam, come on over here. I was just telling your fans some bad news about your Subway Street Stock competition. Going to put that on hold for just a little while to focus on this car. So you'll be only competing in one division for 08?
Yeah, I'll race the Street Stock once in a while, but I put my brother in the car. Just not enough help, too much going on, trying to get him better, Tony Manganello. But we want to focus on this car, and it's just too hard bouncing around back and forth. It just really shows what last year happened was just really special. And yeah, I mean, to try to do it 2 in a row, we got to focus on this. I'm getting a dirt car together with money and everything. We just decided to just go with the modified.
Well, that seems like a really good decision after coming from the back of the field like that and passing last week's winner. I know you've had some dramatic finishes here, but I don't think you've spent that many laps on the outside of one driver for that long.
Well, you know what? George gave me a lot of room, and I appreciate George. I mean, he knew I was a little better. He gave me the outside. That's just good racing, but following him up through the field, I knew if he got out front, I didn't know if I could get him, but car was really good on the outside with this new track condition. We've been really fighting it, but we're back, we're back in victory lane where we need to be.
And how about a thank you to the sponsors and crew that put you right back here?
Got to thank Harry Lazader. He's a car builder, or engine builder. Lazader Auto Service. Got to thank Buzzy and Donna Viglione. They own the car. Pouch, Joe Viglione, Des, Chris, Carol, Vanessa, Lazader Auto Service, Bowl Machine, TCI Circlematic, and Stan's Transmissions.
A 4-time champion returns to victory lane. Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Kostelnik. And once again, and Charger Division dominator last season on the pole. Outside, a winner last year, Andrew Kostelnik in the 05. Green flag is out. Trading paint in the battle for second position, the new Aaron Minjock machine number 34 gets its first Subway street stock battle scars, as he and Jonathan Heilman are banging doors, now banging fenders and bumpers all the way through turns 3 and 4. Drifting up the speedway, making contact with Holder as Minjock makes a save by leaning on the opening night winner's 74 machine. Andrew Kostelnik leads lap 1, and the two youngest drivers in the field are fighting it out for the lead. The 15 of Jonathan Heilman from Bell Vernon, seeking a career first feature victory, pulls out with the point position in turn 4, and he will lead lap number 2. Battle for third, it's Holder in 74, Minjock in 34. Waiting to strike is Gabala in the 3. Look at this, 3 wide in turn 4, light contact between Manganello and the 3 of Gabala. And on the outside lane, Joe Nicola advances with the 31 of Shawn Phillips, tonight's Subway Challenge driver. Gaining a position on the back straight around the outside of Manganello. Look at Gabala in the 3. His third career Motordrome start, and he's challenging last week's winner, Nicola. And we got a spin in turns 1 and 2. 38 of Ray Cimbali goes around. Ray Cimbali brings out the caution on lap 3 of 20. Jock holds on to third, Jason Holder fourth, Teddy Gabala fifth as the green flag waves on lap 3. Jonathan Heilman in car 15 out in front, seeking a career first win. Battle develops for fifth. Teddy Gabala, the young driver of car number 3, the Tom Clark Chevrolet Monte Carlo, to the outside of Joe Nicola's Ford, and the points leader will take a spot away. Gabala shocked the street stock world with a victory as a rookie last year at Jennerstown. He stays wheel to wheel with Manganello's 50 car now, as third position changes hands. Jason Holder from deep in the field makes a pass around the 34 of Minjock. Just as quickly, Holder closes in on the 05 of Andrew Kostelnik, working lap number 5, and Jason Holder to the inside from deep in this field, challenging young Andrew Kostelnik for second spot. Holder won on opening night 2008, and now climbs into the runner-up position, but Jonathan Heilman has built a huge lead over this field. Joe Nicola moves up as well, passing both of the AK chassis teammates, and he glides into the third position on lap 6. Up to the high side, Aaron Minjock sliding the 34 car, drifting back just a little, and now signs of life from tonight's Subway Challenge driver in 31, Shawn Phillips, gaining on the AK teammates. He is in the 6th position right now in car 31. Headed to the scoring line, begin working lap number 8 of 20. Jonathan Heilman's lead holds steady over Jason Holder and Joe Nicola. Heilman, who has never won at Motordrome Speedway, holds his advantage over the first 2 winners of the season. Subway Challenge driver of the night is on the scoreboard in 5th position in car 31, separating the AK chassis teammates as we work lap number 9. And in 4th, Tony Manganello breaks loose in the 50 car, opens the inside lane for Phillips. Last week, when he was also chosen as the Subway Challenge driver by random drawing, Phillips led much of the race and came home second. If he can complete the pass of Tony Manganello from Clairton, the Jefferson, Pennsylvania resident here on lap 10 will be only 3 spots away from earning a free 6-inch meatball sub for everybody here tonight, courtesy of Subway Restaurants. Heilman up front with the lead is holding that margin steady, and veteran and 2-track victor Jason Holder in 74 is unable to close the gap. And just as we mentioned, Heilman holding his margin steady, Holder on lap 11 makes a huge gain on the leader, and working lap 12, He is just a couple car lengths away with Joe Nicola in 69 reeling in both of those drivers. On lap 13 of 20, a three-car battle develops for the lead. Both of 2008's feature winners are second and third behind the young driver from Bell Vernon, Pennsylvania, who is hoping to see his first career checkered flag after a 20-lap feature event. Heilmann's lead down to a car length and a half, working lap 14. But Joe Nicola may be looking to make a high side pass for second, and if those two drivers begin to battle, that could be just what Heilmann needs to seal a first win. Very close racing among the top three through turns 3 and 4. At the scoring line, we will have 5 laps remaining. Holder does a slide out of turn 4, but holds position of second just behind Heilmann. And that little blunder gives Heilmann an extra 2 car lengths down the back straightaway. Nicola in third was unable to capitalize. Four laps to go now. Heilmann in 15, Holder in 74, and Joe Nicola's 69 car. They have checked out from the rest of this field, including the 4th running Subway Challenge driver Phillips. 2 Monte Carlos leading a Ford Thunderbird. And Holder with a dive-bombing move to the inside on the front straight, unable to secure the inside lane through the turn on lap 17. And as he touched the apron of the speedway, that opens the door to Joe Nicola's 69 car. Light contact made in the battle for second. Holder with a terrific save in the high side. Nicola takes over second position in aggressive fashion with 2 laps to go. Jonathan Heilmann could be headed for a career first victory as a result of the method of Joe Nicola, prying open the inside lane to pass for second spot. White flag waving for Jonathan Heilmann from Bell Vernon, Pennsylvania. Lapped cars spewing smoke and sparks in front of the leader on the final tour around Motordrome Speedway. Nicola 3 or 4 car lengths away from striking distance. The 38 of Cimbali, I should say, the lapped car in front of the 15. And for the first time in his career, Jonathan Heilmann wins on Fan Appreciation Night over Joe Nicola, Jason Holder, Shawn Phillips, and Tony Manganello. An elated winner here in Victory Lane. Jonathan, I just told the story about how you graduated from high school, tore off your cap and gown, and came right here to Motordrome Speedway. You didn't want any part of a graduation party that night. You were going to be here to race.
That's right. I didn't even wear a cap and gown. I don't even know what it feels like to graduate. Come here. I was here Friday night. I love this place. Stan Lasky, you're the man. I'd like to thank my dad. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. All the Nicolas, Bill Ashton, my motor builder, Walt Smith, all my fans, everybody here tonight. Yeah! Woo! All my crew, my girlfriend, if it wasn't for her, let me do this. Everybody, thank you. Thank you.
Hey, you're not getting off that easy. Your first interview isn't going to end that quick. We got some more questions for you as a first-time winner. This car, right out of the box, 2008, you got 2 top 5s, now this win. What did you guys do to this race car? Because there's been a noticeable improvement, or is that all you behind the wheel this season?
Everything, man. This car is great. I don't know what to say. Oh, it's awesome.
He's nearly speechless, but you know, in Victory Lane, you got to thank your sponsors. Now, I know the car's blank right now. Does that mean you don't have sponsors? You didn't have time to paint it?
No sponsors. If it wasn't for my old man, I wouldn't be here. I'd like special thanks him, my mom, my sisters, everybody. I don't know. If I forget you, I'm sorry. No sponsors on a car. Anybody's more than welcome if they want to.
Well, we have your first Subway gift certificate for winning here, your first Pizza Hut bonus tonight. I think it's a great sales pitch to get somebody to sponsor your car when you come to Victory Lane for the first time. How's that for a sales pitch?
Man, I hope it's more often this one time. That's all I got to say. The car was great tonight.
It looks like it certainly will be for Jonathan Heilmann, his first career victory, ladies and gentlemen. A winner at New Smyrna during Florida Speed Weeks, and the green flag is out. Top 4 drivers all seeking their first Motordrome Speedway victory. Bailey out to an early lead over Weller. Then Urso, the former Rookie of the Year in the Pizza Hut Super Late Models, tucked in for third. He has been very close to a career first win late in 07 and this season in 08. Jimmy Weller to the outside in car 23. Weller and Bailey racing side by side weekly at the Lake Erie Speedway, and everybody has to check up as Urso dives a little bit too low in car 37 in the third spot. Lap 2, the green flag stays out. A great job of avoidance as Urso hangs on to third spot, loses a couple of car lengths there. In fourth, the Frankie Day Oldies Show, D&D Office Plus machine of Todd Price. Driving for the Mans family in the 51 Motorsports entry. He is holding on by inches to fourth spot over two-time Motordrome track champion Mark Catone in 31. On lap 3, Price is holding off a trio of former Motordrome champions as Catone has to avoid contact, gets on the binders. Bobby Henry gets into the back of him, and there is veteran competitors right there, race fans. Unbelievable contact, but we stay green. Up front, the battle for second heats up. Paul Urso in 37 made contact with the rear bumper of Jimmy Weller, and Catone's in trouble. Spinning in front, it's the 37 of Urso and the 15 of Price, but Catone, Henry, Mitchell, Wiltrout, Brown, and Kelly all involved in this incident. Much of the contact was light, but drivers involved include the 15 of Price, the 37 of Urso, the 96 of Mark Poole, the 31 of Mark Catone, the 11 of Bobby Henry, 22 of Richard Mitchell, 95 of Gary Wiltrout, 98 of Neil Brown pulls away, 44 of Gregory Kelly pulls away, the 93 of Chris Roberts involved. 2 separate incidents happened at exactly the same time. Mark Catone locked up the brakes with possible damage to his car and slid up one groove on the racetrack, triggering the spin from about the 4th position. But at the same time that Catone had his problems, Urso and Price spun in tandem just in front of that group. So 2 separate incidents at exactly the same time in turns 3 and 4, defending champion Henry on pit road with body damage. He pulls to the service of the Palagrudo team. Gregory Kelly in car 44, the D&K sales and service machine, looks to be undamaged as the crew looks at all 4 corners of that machine. He pulls back out. Bo Glemba in 78, we didn't even know that car was involved. He pulls onto the ramp of his trailer for service by the Hemphill Racing team. Win in second. Then last year's leading winner, Tommy Beck, is third. Will Thomas is fourth. Green flag is out. In fifth, it's Neil Brown, last week's winner. In sixth, Richard Mitchell after being involved in the crash. Bailey opens up a 3-car length advantage over Weller. Weller, the former USAC and All-Star Sprint Car competitor turned pavement ace, trying to fight off Tommy Beck in the 60 car. The Benz Motorsports Stans Transmissions Chevrolet on lap 5, challenging young Jimmy Weller III for second position behind Chris Bailey from South Park out in front. Bailey leading Weller, Beck, Thomas, and Neil Brown, the 5th place car, separating himself from Mitchell. It's a 5-car breakaway on lap 7. In third spot, Tommy Beck, who won the biggest event in modified racing history on the pavement in Western Pennsylvania, right here at Motordrome as a teenager in 1996. He's gone on to a Jennerstown Speedway track championship and many victories here at Motordrome. On lap 8, he is staring at the rear bumper of Jimmy Weller III, whose father, Jim Weller Jr., a modified division kingpin on the dirt tracks of Western Pennsylvania for the last 20 years. Will Thomas has closed in now. And just as Weller is feeling the pressure of Beck, he moves to the outside to fight for the lead. Chris Bailey Jr. in car 17 has held the lead for 9 laps. Now Weller in car 23, the dirt track convert, moves to the outside and takes the lead at Motordrome. He has led feature laps here several times before, but on lap 10, Bailey drops to the inside. They go 3 wide with Beck and Brown, and Bailey goes from the lead to 4th as Will Thomas has stormed into 2nd position. Beck still hanging on to 3rd as he was at the restart. Then it's Neil Brown in 98 and the 17 of Bailey. Backing up just a little, perhaps another mechanical problem for the Heartbreak Kid in car 17 just behind him. It's Kelly and Mitchell side by side for 6th up front. Challenge for the lead now. We got a caution flag. Mitchell is into the wall in car 22 in turn number 3. Looks like the right front of the car is sitting down just a bit, could be indicating a possible cut tire or suspension problem. Remember, Mitchell was involved in a big way in that crash on lap number 4. And now Mitchell at the site of that accident in car 22, probably retiring from this event. And Urso, with 11 laps completed, green flag is back out. Thomas with a challenge for the lead on the restart to the inside. Weller holds his lane up top. And the Colonial Metal Products, P.I. Transport number 9, dives into the lead, bringing Tommy Beck right with him. Bailey has led this event. Weller has led this event. Now Will Thomas out in front. Beck steals the 2nd spot from Weller, then Neil Brown in 4th, last week's winner. Some separation, then back to the 44 of Kelly and the 17 of Bailey. Those two made contact a moment ago. Bailey made a great save. Thomas with an advantage of 2 or 3 car lengths over the Beck number 60 machine. Weller in 3rd and Neil Brown in the 98, maybe advancing in the Richter Motorsports Hunter's Peterbilt Davies Ford. Action settles down just a bit as we begin to work lap number 15 when Will Thomas's 9 car reaches the scoring line. Tommy Beck in car 60, leading feature winner of 2007, leading the points in 07 with a pair of 2nd place runs. Then the separation back to 3rd, where it looks like Neil Brown is mounting a challenge to take 3rd spot away from Weller. Brown, who missed opening night competition, debuted this team last week and went to victory lane in his first start. Closing in on young Weller, Brown spent some time racing dirt track late models in 2005, 2006, then returned to Motordrome last season and found victory lane very quickly. 2 separate 2-car battles on the speedway. Leader Will Thomas only has a car length and a half separation between himself and Tommy Beck. Then a 1/3 of a straightaway back to what is about to become a heated fight for 3rd here on lap 18 of 35. Gregory Kelly holding on to 5th all by himself. Then early leader Bailey. On lap 19, the lead battle intensifies. Tommy Beck tried to look to the inside in turn number 2 with car 60. Still got a lot of laps remaining, and with those 2 drivers pulling away from the rest of the field, Beck may just be waiting for an opportunity to keep the tires cool and make a late race challenge on Thomas. Thomas, who has traveled the country racing in 100 and 200 lap events, understands tire management. Even though he's out in front, he could still be nursing those tires. And down the front straight, we're nearly side by side in the fight for 3rd. Neil Brown in 98, Jimmy Weller the 3rd in car 23. The youngster in 3rd spot, and the longtime veteran in 4th. Brown has been to victory lane with 3 separate teams here at Motordrome Speedway alone. He's also been victorious on the dirt. Working lap 22 of 35. into turn 3. Neil Brown dives to the inside. They make contact in the battle for third. Weller spins. Brown gathers it up on the apron, and we've got another caution flag as Weller and Brown make contact in turn 3. You could tell that battle was soon to boil over. And young Jimmy Weller in car 23, the Ohio ace, with no apparent damage to the race car. Tommy Beck in second. Neil Brown now up to third. Gregory Kelly fourth, and Chris Bailey Jr. in fifth. Look at Tommy Beck, just as Thomas got his best run on leader Weller on the restart. Beck makes his challenge now as the green flag comes back out. Down the front straightaway, Will Thomas begins to work lap 24. Tommy Beck in second. Neil Brown up from deep in the field, avoiding several accidents and contact across his front bumper for the last caution flag, but he is still in third position. The driver from Acme, Pennsylvania, last week's winner, looking to make it 2 in a row. Those 3 cars separating just a bit from the 44, the D&K sales and service machine of Gregory Kelly. Will Thomas in car 9, the leader, fishtails out of turn 4 on lap 26. A loose handling condition or perhaps overheated tires on the 9. And Tommy Beck has to be pleased that he is watching the leader of this race losing the handle just a bit that time in turn 4. Was it a one-time mistake, or is it an indication of how that car might be performing down the stretch in this 35-lapper as we're on lap 27? Brown in the 98 car, just a couple car lengths off of second place runner Tommy Beck's rear bumper. Lap 28, and Thomas's car seems to be working just perfectly, half a lane higher on the speedway than the Benz Motorsports 60 of Beck. Thomas leaving racing room down on the bottom, but Beck unable to capitalize. Brown now closing in on Beck, and here comes a serious challenge for the lead. They touch fenders out of turn 2. Beck in the 60, Thomas in the 9. Last season, Thomas was a 2-time winner here at Motordrome. Beck, the leading feature winner a year ago. In his first season back with the Benz Motorsports team in 07, they dominated the win column. And on lap 30, Thomas up high, breaks loose, opens the door, and Beck takes over the lead with 5 to go. Neil Brown in car 98 also diving to the inside of Thomas. Here comes Gregory Kelly looking for a career best finish of 3rd. Thomas in car 9, who has won in 3 different states, has young Gregory Kelly to his inside, the former truck division champion in car 44. Those Chevrolets are door to door. Meanwhile, Neil Brown has reeled in Tommy Beck up front. Working lap 32, and Brown changes to the high side in car 98. Beck in car 60 to the inside. He's only led a couple laps after fighting Will Thomas for the lead, and Brown may be sending him back to the runner-up position again. Brown takes over the top spot on lap 33. 2 laps to go. They are still side by side for 3rd by inches. Kelly in 44 at the line was scored on the podium position of 3rd, but Brown quickly opens up a 4 or 5 car length advantage over Tommy Beck. White flag in the air. Richter Motorsports forms a second team in 2008 for longtime veteran Neil Brown. And the Hunters Peterbilt Davies Ford number 98 car has made 2 starts in 2008. He has 2 victories in 2008 as out of turn number 4, another checkered flag for Neil Brown of Acme, PA. Tommy Beck finishes 2nd, Gregory Kelly in 3rd over Will Thomas in 4th, and Chris Bailey Jr. in 5th. Well, Neil Brown, 2 weeks in victory lane. Last week, start up front, put it on cruise control, go to the win. Tonight, exactly the opposite. You led maybe 2 laps, 3 laps right at the finish. How is that to come to victory lane after passing all the big dogs?
Well, we were lucky again tonight. That crash there and took out Bobby Henry and Gary Wiltrout and some of them guys. I know something happened to Tommy's car there at the end, or I could have never got him. But I'd like to thank fans all for coming out. We appreciate it. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here. I'd like to thank my crew chief, Jim Alborn. Another great week. My sponsors, Davies Ford. Thank you, Jim Davies. R&M Trucking, O'Shea Lumber, Hunter's Peterbilt.
Now, you've had a long career. You've been very successful. Have you ever been 2 for 2? We talked last week about you winning for 3 different teams, but 2 starts, 2 wins, and you just finished this car last Friday afternoon.
I think we went 2 for 2 at Jennerstown or 3 for 3, but never at Motordrome.
Well, the fans up there sure love seeing you battle like that. Now, tell me honestly, which was more fun, being out there all by yourself from a front row start last week or fighting to the finish like you did tonight?
Without a shadow of a doubt tonight.
He's a racer through and through. Ladies and gentlemen, second week in a row, Neil Brown. "15 laps for the Chargers. We're green and racing." Early leader Bill Oldham in car 5 from Connellsville. He's moved up from the Charger oh, we got 4 wide on the back straight. We'll get to the biography information in a minute, but we got 4 cars wide, now 3 wide. Unbelievable Charger action as Oldham will lead lap 1. Bill Oldham in car 5, out in front of Roger Bryan in car 12. Neither of these drivers has ever won a feature event in the Charger class. 48 of veteran Dustin Blank challenges to the inside of Matt Gardner's 7. Very loose and avoiding contact is the 48 of Dustin Blank. What a save. Tracy Keller able to capitalize, move the 1 car around to the high side. Now it's Mike Lemley in car 4, last year's champion. He won a couple of features en route to the title, trying to move into the top 5. Jimmy Stokes in car 95 started last. He's passed 5 cars. He's up to the rear bumper of Lemley's number 4. Last week, Lemley followed Stokes up from the back of the field. Let's see if the opposite happens tonight. Up front, it's still Bill Oldham pulling away from the field. Oldham with an advantage of 5, 6, maybe 8 car lengths here on lap number 4 over Roger Bryan's car 12. Matt Gardner from a mid-pack starting spot up into 3rd position. Then the 1 of Keller, and side by side, Stokes and Lemley battling for 5th. Challenge for 2nd position. Matt Gardner, the Mag Racing. Car number 7. He was up to challenge Bryan for just a moment, now loses 2 or 3 car lengths, while Bill Oldham checks out on the field. Jimmy Stokes has passed the 4 of Lemley. He's passed the 1 of Keller. Now he plays bumper tag with his teammate in car 7. Stokes into the 4th or 5th position, depending on where Tracy Keller crosses the scoring line. Working lap number 7 of 15. Car number 7, Matt Gardner to the inside, taking a position away from Roger Bryan's 12. Here comes his teammate Jimmy Stokes diving into the 3rd position. Hey, we're 3 wide in turn 4. Lemley, Keller, Bryan. Battle for 2nd, the Mag Racing teammates of Matt Gardner and 95 Jimmy Stokes, door to door on the back straight. The West Side Lube and Tire entries. A pair of Monte Carlos, close friends, close racing. Down the front straight, sideways, Stokes and Gardner. Gardner, who had an ill-handling race car last week, able to fight now for top positions with his friend and teammate Jimmy Stokes. But Bill Oldham on lap 10 of 15 has built up a straightaway lead. Bill Oldham in car 5 from Connellsville, a graduate of the American Flyers Division of Racing, way out in front of this one. Battle for third now. Gardner in 7, Lemley in the 4 car. Lemley has been so consistent with great finishes this season. He does it the patient style. Stokes does it the aggressive style. They each have a ton of race fans. But up front, Bill Oldham has buried the field on lap number 12 in the quest for his first career victory. The driver from Connellsville in car 5, driving a machine that used to belong, I believe, to Mike Lemley, our defending champion. Seeing the 2 lap to go signal. Stokes started last, made it to second, but has an awful lot of ground to make up on the leader. Fight for third, still an intense one, bumper to bumper and down on the apron. Matt Gardner in the 7 and Lemley in the 4. Both of those drivers were winning features in 2007. Both have been shut out by Gardner's teammate Stokes, winning everything in sight to this point in the season. Now the white flag waves for Oldham, the driver from Connellsville, Pennsylvania, who started his racing career in the 4-cylinder American Flyers division. Now a veteran of competition in the Chargers, just like Jonathan Heilman earlier with a first career Subway Street Stock win. Out of turn 4, a career first checkered flag for Bill Oldham in car 5. Over Jimmy Stokes in 2nd, Matt Gardner in 3rd, Mike Lemley in 4th, and Denny Keller in 5th. All right, Bill, come on over here. You know, this interview is going to be played on our pre-race radio show next week, so as your first one, I don't want to put a lot of pressure on you. You're going to have to name all your sponsors, name all your crew. Let's get that stuff out of the way first.
Definitely want to thank my crew. Ron from Jimmy's crew helping me out. It wouldn't have been from him, I wouldn't have ever made it this far. My sponsors, Westside Lube and Tire, Lester Medical Supply, Costle's Juice Truck and Cars. Hell, I can't even make Used Cars Are Us. And there's a bunch of others I'm forgetting, but definitely the fans. If it wasn't for the fans, I wouldn't be here.
And you know, all the guys that have won with Westside Lube and Tire on the car, you're the only one so far that said it right. Everybody else says Westside Tire and Lube, so for a rookie in Victory Lane, you got that part right.
Yeah, it's my father-in-law's business. I better get it right.
Hey, let's talk about this race car. You have been really fast in our opening 3 nights. Did you do a lot of work on this thing over the wintertime?
Just the first night. I found out what was wrong with it and went with it. I'll tell you, Ron from Jimmy's crew gave me a big hand. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have made it here.
And now you've got plenty of driving experience in this division, too. This might be the year of Bill Oldham. What do you think, more of these wins coming?
I hope so. It'd be nice to be up here a lot.
He blew away the field for his first career win. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Oldham. Third female pilot, Terry Schwartz, taking the night off, and her son now driving the car 31, and the 16 is Ed Deneen as we're green and racing. Mary Catherine Shimko and Ed Sheltman bring him to the green flag for the 8-lap American Flyers feature. 4-cylinder front-wheel drive passenger cars on street tires modified for driver safety. And that's why, because they go 3 wide on lap 1. Look at Ron Eifert out in front now, passing racing rookie Ed Sheltman. Here comes veteran Larry Vance and the 7 of Jeff Halfhill. 3 wide on the front straight. Ford, Dodge, and Buick. It's Halfhill driving into 2nd. Larry Vance taking 3rd, and just as quickly a challenge for the lead. Ron Eifert the 3rd, one of the top running teenagers in this division the past season and a half. And he loses the lead to Jeff Halfhill. The Nowak painting number 7 on lap number 2 takes the point position from Eifert. Larry Vance is 3rd, but quickly advancing from deep in the field, it's Ed Deneen in car 16, the Wilkinsburg driver who's a former champion and has won more events in this division than anyone else, going side by side with veteran Larry Vance. Halfhill in the 7, Eifert in 61, Deneen in 16, then Vance in 28 as the field stretches out. Halfway through this, 4 laps down, 4 to go. Eifert and Deneen in a dead heat for second position on lap 5 of 8. Pair of Cavaliers duking it out for the runner-up position. Halfhill sees the signal of 2 laps to go. He's got a big lead over Deneen, who has passed every car on the racetrack except the 7. Remember, fans, this is an affordable way to move from the grandstands to the speedway. If you'd like to get yourself a set of rules to build an American Flyers race car and join us on the NASCAR sanctioned pavement, just visit our website at motordrome.com as the white flag is waving. Jeff Halfhill in car 7 representing the MAG racing team. In the very same Dodge Daytona that Matt Gardner began his racing career a few seasons ago. Out in front of the all-time leading feature winner, Ed Deneen. Kevin Ludwig in the 51 car just out in front of the leader as they approach the checkered flag. Win for Jeff Halfhill over Ed Deneen in second. Ron Eifert the third in the Napa number 61. Then Larry Vance in 28 coming home in the 4th spot, and 5th will be the 20 of Ed Sheltman. Well, Jeff, Subway gift certificate for you. You got the Pizza Hut bonus money tonight. Last season, you found victory lane, and it didn't take you very long. Let's talk about your racing career in terms of number of starts to number of wins. That's an impressive ratio for you.
I think this is my 5th start, so I just try to go out and give it my best every time I go out.
And how many wins now?
2.
Second career victory, and you only ran just a few times last year. This season, you've been up front almost every time, and your nemesis, that 16 car, been getting the best of you a couple times. Is it fun when you're racing side by side with a guy that has that much more experience than you?
Oh, he makes it a lot of fun. I'm glad to have him. He's a good competitor. I mean, it's fun every week. He's always there. He's a great guy.
He's coming to victory lane now to congratulate you. How about a chance to thank the sponsors and team, because several times every night I have to say the MAG racing team. Tell us who that is and what that means.
Well, it consists of us, our group over there. You have Matt Gardner, Jimmy Stokes, Bill Oldham, myself, and our sponsors are Bombardier Racing, Westside Tire and Lube. We have Nowak Refinishing and Chris Productions. And I also want to congratulate Bill on his big win.
You know, that's pretty good naming the sponsors. This is only the second time you had to do one of these interviews. You rattled it off like you've been rehearsing.
Oh, no, I haven't been rehearsing, but got a good memory.
And now with this car being so fast, and it's carried 3 or 4 other drivers to victory lane, does that add pressure to you? Your first race, you got in a car that Matt Gardner had won in. You got in a car that his cousin had won in. Is that a lot of pressure for you, knowing that this ride has some expectations to live up to?
I don't think about that. I just do the best that I can do.
And tonight, the best he could do, bested the entire field. A second career win for Jeff Halfhill in car 7.